that. Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause niggas ain't really who they say on the outside. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside.
Are you actually autistic? I thought we were just making jokes this whole time.
He can draw a mean pony.
All right, welcome back to the Madhouse Podcast. You're new to the channel. This is us. We sit around and talk shit about fucking absolutely nothing. This time is actually a pretty special episode. This is our season 1 finale. We've been doing this for 20 weeks now, and we've grown quite a bit. We've upgraded quite a bit, and so
It's because you ate a lot. That's one reason you grew.
So we're gonna take a little break, to where we can kind of focus on making some bigger upgrades and bring you guys a better product. So this week we're talking about a topic that has affected all of our lives pretty drastically. Primarily coming from the military aspect, but this is not a unique issue to the military at all. It's just you have less boundaries and borders when it comes to just how fucking toxic of a leader you can become in the military. So, that being said, this week's topic, we're talking about toxic leadership. Like I said, in the military, you kind of have open reins to just how fucking wild you can go unchecked. But that's it. I don't want to throw out too many spoilers there. Too many spoilers.
It was almost always too like the dude who got beat by his wife at home and never wanted to go home. So he just
Yeah, it was a release for him. It was his outlet. It was he can still feel
In
masculine
control.
at work. Yeah. So you go to work and you're allowed to act out of yourself. Yeah.
But as soon as you get home, you better get in check, or she's gonna beat your ass again.
Right, you're gonna get fucking pegged with a carrot or something. You better get your
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we'll get demonetized, but I'm pretty sure you can't peg Jesus with a carrot. But
Not with that attitude.
not with that. Yeah, no. My buddy Jesus, he's a carrot farmer. And,
Anyways,
yeah. So, Will, why don't you kick us off this week, man? Why don't you tell us kind of, again, not specific to the military, but some of your experiences and some of the toxic leadership that you've experienced, and in your opinion, what makes a leader, and what makes a leader a good leader versus a bad leader?
I hate to say it, but all of my poor leadership has been the military. Like now, working with the company I do now, it's been great. Very understanding. Even at Zaxby's, it wasn't too bad. You had some of those, assistant managers that were trash, but it's Zaxby's, so what do you expect?
Yeah,
but
fuck Zaxby's.
Yeah, fuck
it's
Zaxby's.
trash too.
There's been plenty of instances when I was in where, they're always talking about mission first, right? And this is one instance that comes to mind. I was stopped in the middle of an operation to go piss in a cup. Any other time, it was such a big deal that, you were stopping an operation for, this or that, but we're going to stop this instead of, having the commander just sign a memo real quick saying, hey, he's too fucking busy to do it. He pulled the mission commander and myself off of op to go piss in a cup.
God forbid you had to go piss yourself and take a break real quick.
Right.
Bro, took the words right out of my mouth.
But it's
You pee when we tell you to pee.
It's frustrating because all this time you're talking about mission first, and when we're trying to put mission first, you're gonna stop us in the middle of it. We now have to transition to another operator and another mission commander for the fucking 10 minutes that we got to go down to the company and go piss in a cup real quick.
10 minutes?
Yeah, usually.
I was never there for under an hour.
That's because you're dehydrated, bro. What you fucking?
Yeah, I was gonna
stop
say,
drinking,
bro. The
drinking
moment
so
they
many
said,
goddamn rock stars and Kool-Aid, motherfucker, and get some water in your system.
I was gonna say, the moment they tell me that, oh, you gotta go piss in the cup, man, I'm chugging like a liter of water. I'm gonna be in and out as fast as fucking possible.
Leader. What's that in bald
Leader?
eagles?
Yeah.
Y'all got a liter
But-
of cola?
I mean, don't tip me with a good time. I'll do that too.
Yeah,
it's just
so-
it's wild, man.
So, in your experience, it's mismatched priorities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just not thinking logically. It's just so a lot of time it's laziness too.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean the other instance was when I made E5 sergeant. You know, they told me because I was coming. It was right after my divorce. I was coming from being off post. They were like, "Okay, we're going to give you some time in the barracks to kind of get adjusted, and you know, as an E5, you're supposed to get your own room." Nope, it was 2 days after being told I was fine. I was going to be, you know, on my own for a couple months at the very least. You know, if something happened and I would get a roommate. 2 days. I had a roommate that was under 21. So it was even worse. It was like, oh, you can only, you know, you shouldn't have any of this alcohol. I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm over 21. I'm going to drink.
Oh, the second that my roommate turned 21, I was out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I got moved down, which to the first floor, so that worked out better anyway. But
Oh, you were underage when they turned 21.
No,
yeah,
I was
well for me, yeah. He
And-
was
yeah,
over,
in
I
that
was under.
scenario.
I was over.
Right.
I want to say you had a bottle of
So-
scotch that I got you too.
Oh, I had 2 bottles. I hid one under the bed. They never found it
Jesus Christ.
because they never really looked. Because I was like, you're not going to tell me how much fucking alcohol I can have? It's scotch. I'm not going to fucking chug the bottle.
So do you think that that's just that mishap was a systemic army problem, or was that a
barracks
specific leader? Yeah, was that your barracks manager?
The barracks manager
your
was
floor-
actually cool because it was shortly after that I was actually talking to the barracks manager and he's like, hey man, I'm about to get out. Like once I'm
Was
out.
it
though-
Jerry, or was that when it switched over to being OT?
No, OT wasn't it. It was God, what was his name?
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
We
Why does
we
that
live in the
matter?
same barracks.
Listen,
What? That doesn't
Obvious-
fucking matter, dude.
For context.
obviously, yeah.
It doesn't matter for context. Like, there's no. That's like when I asked you, "Hey, who's this?" Like, so somebody friend requested me one time on Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, Boots, who's this?" And he goes,
It's
"Oh, it's the white law lunch lady's fucking boyfriend." And I'm like, what? Like I know the
It
fucking
doesn't
lunch lady
matter.
at White Law,
It doesn't
at
matter.
the secure building that you work at. Like I know the fucking lunch lady there, dude.
But in this instance, he and I both know who we're talking about.
it doesn't. There's no context, bro. You can tell the story without the name.
But the
Yeah.
barracks manager actually got me out of the room I was in and was like, hey, this is the barrack manager's room. Since you're getting out here soon, like, I'm just going to put you in here.
Let me
Since
tell
I'm
you
going
something.
off post.
That barracks manager that you thought was so fucking cool is the guy who assigned you that dude to your fucking room and handed
They
him
have
his
all
fucking.
Oh,
key.
yeah, no doubt.
They have-
I think it switched because he was brand new, but he was getting off post. It probably was one of the 2 people that Raleigh just mentioned. And it's no fucking wonder.
Bro.
Barracks.
You
barracks
owe that
manager
guy.
has-
You owe that guy money or what? It was still his
No.
fucking fault. This is part of these are the little building blocks that makes this giant toxic environment.
You don't get points for like helping me out of the mess that you put me in.
But I'm just saying that I don't know if it was him.
It's
It
just
could've
like
been.
every time a fucking tornado hits Oklahoma, and then they hop on the news. Oh, thank the Lord Jesus, we had all those life rafts. Where
It
we
didn't
should
fuck-
have
it happens every
48
year.
hours ago. Yeah, you don't get to sink the ship and then take credit for the life rafts, bro. That's not how that works.
Well,
So,
regardless,
what
I
the-
got out of that room. It was
Oh,
for a
dude.
short time.
What in your opinion would you what makes a good leader? What is a good leader, and have you experienced one?
Yes, I've had plenty. I've had plenty. Thankfully, and I'd say thankfully because most of them have been a few of my first sergeants. Like I've had one or two that I can remember off the top of my head that were really great. When I first arrived at Fort Gordon, my first sergeant out, like first duty station, first sergeant for the company I was in, it'd be noon, and after I've done what I could do today for in processing, he'd be like, in his Boston accent, like, "Farmer, what are you doing?" "Nothing, first sergeant." He'd be like, "Go home, go see your wife." And it's like noon. I was like, that dude, that was a good leader in my mind because he was very understanding of like the home situation. He knows I'm not just not doing anything. It's just I can't do anything else for the day.
Now,
That was
was
also
that
another
your
interesting
impression? Was that your impression of a Boston accent? 'Cause-
No, I can't do it. I've tried and I fail very horribly. So I don't
You
even.
can't
really
find your
attempt
car
it.
keys.
Your car keys?
Your car
Nice.
keys.
I can find my car keys, but I think I parked my car down by the harbor, and it's gone.
I always found that dynamic kind of interesting though, because as soldiers, we all made the same fucking pay pretty much. There was no fucking overtime or anything, so they kind of realized that time was our most precious resource. They could pay us more, unless you really fucked up. They couldn't pay you less. So, hey, here's your time back. Cool. And PFC, Dick Cheese over here gets his afternoon with his wife.
I mean, my thing is like, if there's nothing else I can do for the day, why am I here?
Yeah, that's a two-part.
Because I'm here.
Sometimes, yeah, that's why. Because it's a lot of bitter guys like that. And the other thing, I think a big part of that, and I guess how a good leader would handle that situation is knowing what your subordinate's currency is.
Oh yeah,
So, for a guy that has, a stay-at-home wife and 3 kids or 5 fucking kids or whatever, man, he don't want to go home. I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't gonna be the one volunteering to go back to the house all the time. But if you call him on the weekends, you're gonna hear about it. Whereas
Yeah.
your younger Joes or whatever, they might value skipping PT or going home early on Friday, or hey, I'll vouch for you on Friday. CO said we're gonna have an early release brief at about 11 anyway, so got you. Don't sweat. Little shit like that. It's knowing what your Joes value. Will make
I
all
would-
the
I would
difference
take
in the
it-
world because.
I'd take it a step further and say just knowing your Joe's period. I've had plenty of
Sure.
people that didn't know me for shit, but
No,
they took the
100%.
rank and were like, that's it, that's final.
100%. And even for me, like being in a leadership role, I don't know if you guys weren't. I mean, you guys weren't really in leadership roles, as you know.
I wasn't. I made sergeant and I got out.
Yeah,
I was like
squad
maybe
leader,
sergeant for
stuff
6
like
months.
Eternal
Um,
specialist.
So, like for me, like being in a leadership role, dude, just knowing your Marine Joes, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you guys call them, your
Yeah,
Marines, just
sure.
knowing them, dude, and knowing what they're going through, dude. Because like the way I was harsh on people, dude, like, and if I knew someone, hey, he just lost his mother, you're gonna get a little bit more slack from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna push you at that point because you're already on the edge. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing them and what they have going on in their life will actually leaps and bounds pitch you above everyone else instantly, dude. Just knowing them and knowing what they're going through in life, what their hobbies are, what they're into, you know what I'm saying? And just being able to relate to them. So like when you're trying to like punish them, you know what I'm saying? If it's, you can relate to them in some sort of way of their hobby, you know what I'm saying? And try to explain it to them that way.
I think
Sure.
it just shows that the respect it goes 2 ways.
Yeah.
It's not just a
then
one-way street.
I've always been, a reprimanded private praise in public type of person, especially my leadership, bro. Like, obviously, if it's something stupid and at the moment it needs to be called out, I'm going to call you out about it. But then it's going to be real quick and, hey, knock that shit off. See me after, whatever. Come see me type of shit. And then we'll talk about it there, dude. Like, I'm not going to sit here and chew into your ass in front of everyone. I'm just going to tell you to knock it out real quick. And then come see me afterwards. We'll talk about this. What the fuck's going on? Why are you acting like this? You don't typically act like this, so what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Boots, beat your face. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Not even.
Dude, not even that.
Almost,
no, dude.
Oh,
Because
I got that a lot.
No, because
that's just a show. That's just a
Yeah.
flex. That doesn't
Yeah.
solve or fix anything. That just
I
proves
never-
that you're in charge. That doesn't.
I never punished any of my Marines with PT, dude. Because it doesn't. You think about it, dude. Like, you're in the Marine Corps, dude. Like, you're fucking peak athletic at 20, 22, 21, 22, dude. Like, I could sit here and tell you to fucking beat your face into the pavement all fucking day, and you'll do 200 fucking push-ups, and you might be sore for an hour or two, and then after that, you forgot about it.
Exactly.
Honestly, dude,
That's why I
what
say knowing their currency, what they value, and how to, I hate to say manipulate it, but in terms of disciplinary.
Right. And honestly, dude, like 9 times out of 10, dude, I found out that like when people are acting out at work or they're fucking up, there's something going on in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's they're not nobody.
There's an outside factor.
You've got your few shitheads that are just shitheads. And
Raleigh.
they've always been that, and they'll always be that. Yes, Raleigh was probably one of them. I have no fucking doubt in my mind.
He was.
I'll interject. I was described more than once as top 3 smartest people that these individuals that described me had ever met, and top 3 worst soldiers they'd ever met, and that I was destined to be a contractor.
But you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that, though, dude, because I've told many people, dude, like, you're a great person. You're just a shitty fucking Marine. Or on the opposite fucking hand, you're a fucking shit hot Marine, but god damn it, dude, you would fuck someone's wife in front of them if you fucking could. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're just a shitty individual, dude. Like, that's the way it is. Anyways, back to what I was saying, though. Like, 9 times out of 10, dude, there's something going on in their life. And if you just sit down and talk with them and show them that you care, usually that attitude or whatever their issue that they had going on, they're acting out, it usually changes because it shows that you care and you feel for them. And that's all they're looking for is attention.
To go a little further into
Yeah.
like knowing your people. When I was a crew leader for Zaxby's, it's all about putting what people were strong at, in that specific role. Like, you're not going to stick somebody that really sucks at, cleaning the dining room at cleaning the dining room. You put somebody that's good at cleaning in that area. Put somebody that's good at the drive-through, and I don't really see that too often in the military, which it's a really hard thing to do because you had your specific job and that's it.
You could do it. You could still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes because we all know, like I don't know if the Marines call it the same thing, but like sometimes you find those guys that are in the S shops, and there isn't an MOS for the S shop unless you're like a 42 Alpha or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like who
Usually
the
it's someone
fuck
who's pulled.
who the fuck hand selected Private Pile to come in here and do this shit? Like, who was thinking about, like, you get to hand pick your team. You don't get to pick your fucking platoon.
So-
It's usually
Oh, yeah.
for us and medical, it's based on MOS and stuff. So
So a lot of the times, dude, like the people that end up in your ass shop are either up there because of medical reasons. They're up there.
or they need to be
Because they-
babysat.
Yeah, they fucked up and they need to be babysat. That's probably second behind medical reasons. I'd say medical reasons is probably number 1, just because they can't. You know what I'm saying? Probably can't perform whatever their job is. So send them up to the fucking ass shop until they get better. Let them fucking malinger up there.
Yeah,
We
I
had a
had
bunch of
a,
people that were like shit high. They would just draw the short stick and like, well, sorry, your turn in the S shops, your turn on gate guard, and we needed 1 person from each platoon to do that.
Shitty leadership.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it
what-
is.
That's what that
And then
boils down
that-
to. Like what Will was saying.
Like, you got to know where to put your people.
Yeah, not knowing where to assign your people. If you're taking your shit hot operators and fucking sending them out to the gate, and letting fucking Private Dingus over here run the operation, then you probably don't know.
Yeah,
how to-
Pete. That's right, and that's that kind of comes down to knowing the difference between fair and even, right? So you being
Equality
you
versus
not
equity.
having the spine to pull your Joes in and say, "Hey, listen, we're going to keep doing this, and you're going to continue to fill that role, and you're going to keep filling that role because you're fucking good at it." And it's not fair to anybody else to go in there and fuck everything up because A, B, and C. Or whatever, but it's so damn political that they just can't
Yeah. But the
they
thing of
can't
it is,
just
though, like
back up their own goddamn decisions. So they go
there's
with
no such thing as fair in the military, dude.
that's what I mean.
Eh,
Fair
Now,
Yeah.
versus
now when you get higher in the echelons, and a lot of your officers will talk about fairness and blah blah blah. There's no fucking fairness, dude. Let's be real. If this dude can run like a fucking bat out of hell, this dude
He's a
can't
leader.
run worth the fuck. Who am I sending out on a fucking mission that requires a lot of movement and running? Am I going to send fat fuck Jeremy who fucking, you know what I'm saying? If it requires a
No.
lot of running, or am I sending
I am
fucking Will,
forklift
who is
certified though.
Hey,
who's a fucking gazelle? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't know if this fits exactly in the conversation, but here'd be a question for you. Would you call it shitty leadership or just shitty culture that we promote people because this guy can do hundreds of push-ups and he's really good at PT, but he sucks ass at his job?
the leadership thing.
So that's just more cultural. That's a systemic issue, if you even want to call it an issue. You can't put a quantitative number on somebody's leadership ability because while we generally agree as we make our way, this round robin of trying to talk about some of our toxic leader experiences and then what qualities that we consider a good leader, it might be different, and how we were raised. Yeah, sure, we're a little better. We all been friends for a long time, but the guy next door might not. The guy with the
Yep.
purple infinity might have a completely different, upbringing, and his idea of what a good leader is just tough love,
But
being
being a leader though, is different from what he had asked in doing your job. Because there's plenty of people, I've met plenty of people who can fucking sit there and do their job like it's nobody's business. But when it comes to being a leader,
right.
they're just not cut out for that. And to get back to what he was saying is doing your job, you can put a quantitative number on somebody who's, better at doing their job. And that comes down to pros and cons and stuff like that.
Well, so in the Army, we have what's called ICTLs, individual task competency list. ICT. You were in a striper, so you don't know Boots, but
Yeah, I don't know what that's
MOS. Each MOS has like 10 level, 20 level, like actual hard black and white expectations of how you need to be performing at any given task, given your rank, given your experience, X, Y, and Z. What I mean though, as far as putting together like a quantitative point value on a soldier's value to the Army or the armed services or any given company, in this case, you have to put a number on their physical fitness. And should it be as big of one in terms of promotion? That's neither here nor there. That's also
It's the thing I struggle with right now is like in
Running?
the field that Raleigh and I are in, you a lot of your smarter guys are not physically fit or not as physically fit as what majority of the Army should be. And or I guess any of the armed services for that matter.
Well, it's not.
But
It's
on the same front, though, you've got the whole idea of soldier first. If shit hits the fan, everybody should be able to pick up a rifle and still somewhat do a little bit of damage. Now, Marines, that's totally different because y'all pick up a fucking rifle and you just lay waste anything in front of you. But on the
I'm
army
pretty
side
sure
of it.
for a while there we were actually labeled as non-deployable unless shit went to like World War Z.
Well, that's just your specific field.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
really a...
And I have that hard thing of like, okay, well, do you compromise physical fitness to ensure that you have some of the brightest individuals for that particular field? Or do you try to find just a select few that can do both?
I think it more or less has to do with your job field and what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you look at what you guys would do on a daily basis is they're at a desk all day.
Oh yeah.
We would
Working
start
the old brain meat.
start our day off with 0.5 PT, running a minimum of 3 miles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then usually we would go PT at lunch, and then some of us would PT after work. Like it was just, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was one of those days where you had nothing to do, let's go fucking climb that mountain.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Let's go.
So
I
then,
said so.
okay, so then I'll kind of circle back on this defining what a good leader is. Is it, you're saying, because he runs fast, does that make him more have a higher aptitude to be a leader versus somebody who's got the old fucking think meat is on 11? Because I've met a lot of bootses in the world who they got a ton of fucking think meat, but it don't equate to shit. So intelligence isn't always a direct component to being a good leader either.
Oh, absolutely. Because if you look at 95% of these fucking weirdos up here at fucking Fort Gordon, yeah, they might have fucking the biggest fucking brains in the world, but goddamn, are they some of the fucking weirdest, dumbest, actually dumbest motherfuckers you've ever met in your life.
Can't make your way out of a wet paper bag with a knife and a map.
You have a
24%, maybe.
You have a conversation with them, and you're just like, what?
This is painful. Yeah.
Where? And don't get me wrong. Like sometimes I have, with boots too. Like you'll be having a conversation with them, and you're like, where exactly were you going with this? Because
that's like 90% of the conversations.
Sometimes I'll just be saying shit. So that's fair.
It's but it is. I will say that is one of those things that's on a scale, and you need to have some smarts and some physical level of
Physical
fitness.
prowess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys have been preached something almost verbatim to what I'm about to say, but it isn't necessarily your ability, your physical abilities make you a better leader so much as you kind of have to drink the punch, man. Like being physically fit in a career field that requires you to be physically fit shows a little bit more, dedication to the cause, a little more, a dedication to the mission. And frankly, those are the people that you want in charge, not because of their fucking runtime, but because of the work it took to get that runtime.
But the thing of it is, too, is like, to go back to what Boots was saying, is like, you can't be, or the whole fucking, he runs good. The thing of it is, dude, like, if we're out on a company run, and I'm telling you to hurry your fucking slow ass up, but I'm behind you, how does that look on me?
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wait, I forget. I'm always in the bottom left corner, so.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Whereas Rodney up there.
Whereas, I'm up front, I'm running backwards,
screen,
and I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm up in front. It's kind of motivating you some, but on top of that, you're showing that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Let's get this shit done with. But
I think as a Marine, you were the only one who actually had a decently paced company run. We were sitting there doing that little fucking truffle shuffle, and it was painful to my knees.
I hurt more after a fucking company run.
No, company runs suck,
just
dude.
running twice of what I normally run.
In general, company runs suck just because you're always playing the fucking accordion effect. So if you're in the back, dude, you're like running real slow, and then you're sprinting to catch up, and then you're running real slow. company runs just suck in general. But I was just using that as an example.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't yell at you and tell you that you're a shithead and you're running slow from behind you when I'm running slower than you are.
Leading by example.
Right.
the-
yeah,
yeah.
more or
Yeah.
less.
And if you do get put in
But-
that position, you're gonna have to like play off of it. Be like, look, I'm a fat piece of shit, guys. If you're falling behind me, something's going wrong here, and that you have to
But
play that.
I think that
And
that
that's
goes back
cool
to,
too,
like,
but
ideal,
sincerity
but
and to
play
be
it.
real, yeah.
I think that goes back to like just knowing people's strengths, though, because there was a scenario where I was helping a couple of NCOs as a specialist with running, and most of them, there's a couple that had a problem with it because I was a lower rank, but most of them took it and they're like, "Hey, you're actually good at this. Show me what I need to do to be better."
Yeah, unfortunately, the thing about running though is it's one of those things where like you're gifted with it or you're not, dude. You're either a natural born runner or you're not.
Yeah,
Because some people just have
I will agree there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
some people just
I-
have duck feet, dude, and like just can't run worth a fuck. And you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like Jeremy's one of them. Case in point, like I know the dude can't.
That's
run.
not
I've
true,
seen it.
man. Before
I've seen
I
him
hurt
try to run.
myself, yeah, before I hurt myself, I was all A train, man. I ran sub 14 minutes, and I know you fucking Marin crops. That's all you guys do. But for us, man, that's fucking quick. And for a 2 mile time, that was pretty respectable. But
Yeah.
up until me
Maxing was
getting hurt,
13 for us. Yeah.
yeah. So up until I really hurt myself, I was a running son of a bitch, and then I just started getting fat, and I didn't give a fuck anymore.
So again, like I said, man, it's one of those things where it's kind of on a pendulum of you need to have a little bit of smart. Obviously, you need to have smarts to be a leader.
Yeah.
You really can't be dumb and be a leader.
I think a lot of it would
Yeah.
have to be adaptability.
But you don't have to be a
Sure.
fucking genius, dude. Like, yeah, that goes back to like where I was saying, like, you don't have to be a fucking genius and a know.
Yeah.
Usually, those that are like, they end up being a know-it-all, and you're always fucking wrong no matter what you do or say
Yeah.
because they know more.
They
than
got
you.
to
That's
everything's
usually-
got to be
yeah.
a learning point, and it's just like
Yeah.
motherfucker, nobody cares what you have to say.
Yeah. And then, the physical fitness is more or less a lead by example and why you would need to have physical fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've all kind of said it without saying it, and I kind of played with it earlier, but that sincerity and authenticity
Yeah.
is a big factor, and I think that is why the Army, the military, has such a difficult time placing leaders in roles, is because that isn't one of those measurable things.
Yeah.
You can't train someone to be authentic.
Well,
You can't teach somebody how to be sincere. You can't teach somebody that. And so the best NCOs that I've ever experienced, and those that I emulated in my leadership roles, it was more a reflection of the man, not their rank or their GT
So
score or their PT score or their whatever.
part of that issue,
you know what I mean?
Part of that issue is the macho mentality of the military, and you got to be strong and tough, and no weak people allowed. And honestly, a lot of that started, back in Gulf War and stuff like that, and then 9/11 happened, and then the plus up. And
Mhm.
honestly, during that time is where a lot of your toxic leadership really just started to
Take
shoot
off
through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's not anything systematic. It's more or less the people that enlisted during that time. If you look at the people who enlisted during the plus up was, I want to go fight in a war and I want to kill something. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, most of them weren't really the brightest of individuals, because the Army, the Marine Corps included, the Navy, everybody was taking anybody and everybody. I know the Army or the Marine Corps usually floats around 165, and they plussed up to 211,
Jesus.
which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, 165,000 to 211,000. But when you're actually in the Marine
That's
Corps,
substantial.
you realize how small the community is. That's a big leap in individuals. And they were taking anybody and everybody. How many fingers am I holding up? 6? Cool. Come on, hop on the bus. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. And then, during that time, everybody was deploying and getting these combat fit reps, and which looks, really good. And you're getting promoted real fast. Promotions are going through the fucking roof. And these are the people that right around the time, I came in, and then now you're, right around the time I came in, they were my NCOs. And then now, when you guys were in, they were your guys' senior NCO. And so these are, your first sergeant dickheads and shit like that. And they were my fucking sergeant dickhead.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's kind of, where the whole toxic leadership started is a lot of these dudes, honestly, my theory of it is these were dudes that were fucking shoved in wall lockers and given swirlies in high school. And then they joined the military, and they get into a position of power, and now
they got that taste of power.
Yeah.
And they got mixed in with the Tanners, the Connors, and the fucking Hunters, and those fucking kids. Yeah.
And so, now you got that macho mixed with retaliation type of shit going on, and I'm in charge. You're going to do what the fuck I say because, for whatever fucking reason, because I said so is people think is a logical answer to adults.
Would you say there's a value in why?
Asking why?
Oh. In not outwardly asking why in every case, but just making sure your Joes know why, whether they have just a base level motivation, or
absolutely
they know the deeper.
110%. If you tell me that my idea is dumb, I want to know why. If you tell me, hey, we're not going to do it your way, we're going to do it my way because I said so, I want to know why.
Well, even in just mission and movement, why are we doing this? Why,
so it's a deeper understanding. It's 100%. Now, I understand why.
Yes. Now, and I understand not everybody needs to know the who, what, where, why, and how. I'm not like that. I need to know.
But just let me lick it at least enough to keep going.
See, but that's the thing, I need to know how things work.
Yeah,
it's just a thing of mine. Like I think Will and I have talked about stuff before, and he's brought up topics that I'm not familiar with, and you can how, well, why?
Yeah.
Okay, but then what about that? Like I need to know the ins and outs of it. And it's not, even though I'll never use it.
You'd be surprised too, because when that shit happens, like Rodney will come up with an idea. I'm like, I didn't actually consider that. Like, let's try that out.
Well, that's pride too.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have too much pride to go, well, I'm the leader, so the idea has to come from me. And when I go go to the Cub, the CO brief, I want him to have my idea. Whereas anytime I was in a leadership position, I would rather, it looks better upon me that my Joes are fucking slaying. Yeah. When my Joes are kicking ass and I'm okay. Yeah, okay, I could probably be doing X, Y, and Z different, but hey, my guy came up with that idea.
Yeah, where's the shame in saying, hey, Private Fucknut just said, hey, we should do it this way. So,
but you know what?
That's my platoon.
Even further than that, what I would do sometimes is sometimes my Marines would be like, hey, have you thought about this? And I'd be like, shit, that's a good idea. Come on. Come with me. I got a meeting to be to. But you're going to come explain your idea because I don't really have time to sit here and listen. But come on. It's your idea. You come on. You come explain in front of the fucking colonel.
I think a lot of people forget.
I never talked to the colonel before. Come on. He's just normal dude.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget that the people that are under you are a reflection of you. Right. And a lot of people lose sight of that. It's like if your people under you are doing great, it's a reflection of your leadership.
Right. Well,
yeah, so I actually got this a couple years ago. I don't know how well you guys can see it on camera, but I got this. Yeah, it's actually Abe Lincoln. But
okay.
No, when on the cusp of me becoming an NCO, this is an old American gangster named William Cutter, or Bill the Butcher, as most of you guys probably know him as. But he was a piece of shit, man. And he led a massive gang in New York City for a long time. And he was the type of motherfucker that, like, if he found out that, you know, you were doing a job for him and you slid 5% in your pocket before you turn the money in type of thing, he'll fucking gut you in town square for everybody to see. Like, he was the type of motherfucker that would light shit on fire just to prove points, just fear tactics, basically. And so I got it because the only real way to have authority is fear or respect. And because Bill the Butcher always led through fear, that was, I mean, he was the leader without a question of a doubt, and nobody would question him or challenge him because he'll gut you. He'll fucking open you up with a cleaver right in front of your family type of shit. And so if it was kind of a reminder that if I ever found myself in a position where I was giving ultimatums, or, you know, like you need to do this or else, or don't fucking ask me questions, just go do it. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Why? First of all, those situations happen. I get it, but why am I finding myself in this position where, in order to get my point across, I have to be this particular way? Where did I lose touch? Yeah, where did I lose touch with this guy that I can't be like, hey, you and you. You know what you got to do today, right? All right, you two to the motor pool. You two, I'm going to need you out in the Connex. I'm going to hit this meeting, and I'll catch up to you right before we go to lunch. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do the micromanaging, and I can't do the lead by fear or fear tactics at all. That shit is the absolute worst to me, and it's like fucking oil and water. I can't get down with that.
Absolutely.
I know one thing I used to like to do in terms of leadership was to, if I were put into any sort of position, I wouldn't ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do. I'd either be there helping or I'd be doing something similar. And I think that's also something that's very lacking.
A little bit. For us, it was more of like a bring. We used to call it bring the bird. Bring the bird was if you know what you're doing. Like if I know that you have a license and you know how to dispatch a vehicle, and you know how it goes from commander's signature to doing the quackers with your 91 Bravos.
I mainly mean like new things, though. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm saying bring a bird was take a baby bird with you. Because if I know you know what you're doing, take shithead with you and show him too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we got more, a little bit better birds out there, you know?
Yeah, you don't have a bottleneck. Yeah, you don't have a bottleneck. If that one person's gone, you know, the whole thing doesn't shut down.
My thing of it is like, I would always, you know, you're always tasking stuff out. And especially, you know, when you get to the point where you have 14, 15, 16 people underneath you, you can't really be doing everything with all of them. You're tasking people out. You're usually giving your most trustworthy Marines the tasks that require the most. You know what I'm saying? And then you're giving Private Smuckatelli over here the fucking, hey man, just go clean the toilet and keep yourself busy. You know what I'm saying? Type of details.
Right. No, you got to pair him with your strongest guy.
Yeah, in some instances, but like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's instances where that'll slow the individual down or...
It
just depends.
I guess it depends on like priority of like how soon does this need to get done.
It depends on the task. It depends on the task. But there was plenty of stuff. Now, I never asked them to do anything that I wouldn't personally do myself. And a lot of the times, too, if I was free, I would bounce around between group to group and kind of help out here and there.
And that's what I mainly mean is like be willing to like take the time out. If you have free time, don't just stand around. Do something too.
And they always knew that like I was never one to just task them out shit and then go eat lunch or go home or go sit.
Like, hey man, what can I do to help you out here? Or you go to your tech specialist. Hey, I don't know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Can you like help me understand it a little bit better?
Listen, man. Yeah. Or like I don't know what you're doing, but you know what? Hey. You need me to file some paperwork for you. You need me to, you know what I'm saying? You need a back rub. Like, what you need from me? for you, not really,
hey, man,
but like,
back rub on up.
Jeremy's peaked right now. He's like, hey,
what you need from me though, for you to perform your job at the best, or you know what I'm saying, get this done earlier.
It's entirely.
But going back to like what Jeremy said, it about the ruling with an iron fist and whatnot. It's kind of a fine line that you do have to play, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all my Marines knew I had their back until death. However, fuck me over, you cut me out of a situation, and I'm fucking throwing the book at your ass. And I think you guys have all heard the story about the two Marines that fucking broke into the base movie theater.
I love that story, man.
And you know what I'm saying? And I didn't get no fucking phone call from them or anything. And I was blindsided Monday morning. So in the NJP, when the colonel looks over at me and says, "Hey, Sergeant, they're your Marines. How do you want me to go about this?" I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Throw the fucking book at their asses, sir."
I mean, that's definitely something that we did as well. So we were 68 Papas as X-ray techs, and so our platoon of anywhere between the two of us for a short period of time up to like 15 or 20 of us was Papa Land, and everything stays in Papa Land unless you bring some exposure to what we got going on and how we go about doing shit. We handle things right here.
Lowest level
It
every
gets
time.
ugly, yeah, absolutely. But we did it.
Yeah.
We actively went out of our way. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, check it out. So and so is moving. So PT on Thursday is packing shithead's extra bedroom for him. You know what I mean? Or it was something along those lines, man. We kept it as tight knit as possible.
But even like something as simple as like if you were out on a Friday night and you were drinking, even like I'm your NCO, bro. If you were drinking and you have no other way home, call me. And I will either come get you if I haven't been drinking myself. I don't care where you're at. You'd be 2 hours away. You'd be at Tijuana. Even though you're not supposed to fucking be in Tijuana, I will fucking take my ass to Tijuana and go fucking get you if I have not been drinking. If I have been drinking, I'm from the area, and I fucking know someone that I can pick up the phone.
I will find a way to get you home.
Yeah. I'm from the area, so I will pick up the phone, and I know someone who does not drink and will willing to pull this favor for me. However,
and I'm gonna fuck you up once
On
you
Monday.
get home, but it's staying on Papa Island here.
Yeah.
However,
You're gonna be in the dog
try to
shit
fucking
in my book here.
yeah. However, you try to fucking drive home, you get a fucking DUI. You don't call me about it, and I fucking find out Monday morning. Throwing your
He
ass
gets
to the
fed to the
birds.
wolves. That's on you.
Because you
Yeah,
could
they
have
already got their
yeah.
they already got their teeth in you. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stick my fucking hand in his mouth.
Yeah,
and you couldn't
exactly.
Give me the courtesy of a fucking phone call.
Yeah.
Bro.
Or
Fight
even if
that
you did
son of a bitch.
Yeah, even if you did get in trouble with the police, call me. I'll come fucking pick you up. We will minimize this because I can go to First Sergeant first. If it's coming from one of his NCOs, he's going to be more lenient on
Because
the
it
fact.
always you've already done some damage control.
Right. However, he gets that fucking blotter report on Monday morning and finds out the fucking local PD picked your ass up. It's a different story.
Oh, yeah.
So call me first so we can fucking get some kind of damage control. You're still going to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way
There's no way around that. Yeah.
If you got picked up by
Right.
local PD, there's no way around that. You're on the blotter report. They've got your ass.
Like
However,
unless it was really a misunderstanding or something, then you're kind of fucked.
I can at least fucking minimize some of the damage, and we can keep our fucking squad platoon's fucking name out of the fucking first sergeant's mouth and out of the gutter.
Right. And at least put the right light on it from the beginning.
Right.
Because if all he sees is DUI and Lance so and so, he's gonna get red hot right away, immediately. Whereas if he already knows the situation, he got a little bit of the backstory already. Even if it wasn't a great backstory, at least he can change the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way, when it comes down to NJP, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
Plus,
So,
he's
there
had
what
time
can
to
we
cool
do?
off by then.
Yeah, right.
so there is that like fine line of ruling with an iron fist and letting them know, you know what I'm saying? You fuck me, I'm gonna fuck you twice as hard.
Yeah, there's toys for that. I'll take a break. It's just kind of.
But you also have to funnel that with care, empathy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Sympathy,
Absolutely,
sympathy and all that shit. You have to fine line it between both of those.
Speaking of batteries, dude, we had this guy. So anyway, I'm an X-ray tech, and I work a lot, but primarily in CAT scan, and so I've seen it. I've seen it. I don't care to what capacity, to what degree.
You didn't slip in the
it.
shower or fall. We know.
No, you didn't slip. You didn't fucking. It wasn't as much of an accident as you think. Even non-sexual, any trauma that you could imagine, I have seen it to some capacity. I've seen every appendage missing. I've seen every. Anyway, we had a guy come in for abdominal pain into the ER, and so I get his sheet, and sure enough, it's a captain in the Navy, so it's an 06 in the Navy, right, which is equivalent to our full bird colonel. I think it's pretty similar in the cream corn. That 06 is a full colonel, right? And so I was like, damn, okay, cool, crazy. It's late, bro. Like, what happened to you? Like, that you came in for abdominal cramps and blah, blah, blah. Well, long story short, he had a toy somewhere. And the thing is when they go in to get them, they use like fairly sharp utensils to try to get in and grab it and either pull it back out or whatever, right? So this dude, this fucking 06, had to sit in the fucking waiting room of the ER for like 6 or 7 hours because the batteries had to die in order for them to go in and grab it, because if it's vibrating and their tools are slipping off of it, you have a perforated bowel and you have a much bigger problem from here on out. And so, dude, when I tell you, everybody I fucking knew in the hospital to come like take a quick walk through the lobby of the ER to see the guy with the his ass, dude. Everybody and he just kind of had to sit there uncomfortable because it's still on, bro. Like, he was waiting for the batteries to die in this fucking thing.
You said 6 hours too?
Yeah, it was 6 or 7 hours. Yeah,
I just think about like the whole, like you were talking about with the weed eater, where your hands are shaking after. Like, can you imagine when the does turn off? You're sitting there you're like.
I mean, I don't know what it feels like to have a vibrator in my
I'm
house.
sure as hell don't either, but.
Boots, what does it go numb after a while? Or?
Yeah, right.
I'll get drunk one night. I'll let you know.
Oh,
That's
God.
fair.
That's all it takes.
Right?
Martin.
By that.
Now that motherfucker will get ambitious with the quickness.
So
You know what the
what
scary part about that is if he wanted it, he could have it. You'd just be shit out of luck.
He's
What
a
kind
big
of toxic?
dude.
What kind of
That's
toxic
Trevor.
leadership have you had, Boots?
Man, I had 2 NCOs, and they were, for a long time, best friends, but polar opposite impacts on me. One is still one of the most respected men by me that I've ever interacted with. And this is the guy that made me clean my room for 19 hours fucking straight. Take everything out.
I remember that.
Dotson?
Funny
Yeah.
as fuck. That was
Was
funny
that-
as fuck, bro.
It smells anything like your fucking house did the other day.
Oh, it did.
It needed more than 19 hours,
It smelled
buddy.
absolutely disgusting, bro.
I had
Was it?
everything I
You're
owned
not talking
at the
about
time
your
on a
mom,
layout.
are you? Because
No.
you probably needed
No.
to clean your room anyway.
No, she didn't. No. But he had me take everything that I owned in that room, and even stuff the army owned, so the furniture, move it out downstairs. I was on the 2nd floor into the quad, and he made a layout. He started playing around like he was going to auction off my shit. And I was cleaning for 19 hours at the start of a 3-day weekend. So when I got off from work, I was like, yeah, dude, you're cleaning. Starting tomorrow morning, which is the start of your weekend. And so there goes 1 day of your 3-day. And you're going to be sleeping for half the second one. So I finished at like 6 in the fucking morning. But the way he implemented that, and the fact that the First Sergeant never officially knew about it, there was no like paperwork on that. I didn't hate him for it. Like, sure, it sucked at the time, and at the end of it, and he said, "Look, man, you're not sleeping on dirty sheets. I know you put those sheets that you took off your bed in your car. So your options are you're gonna go wash those sheets, or you're gonna sleep on the bare mattress." I'm like, "I'll sleep on that piece of plastic bullshit, or I'll sleep in my car. I'm not waiting at 6 a.m,
bro. Do you know what happens on those
God,
mattress
you're
mattresses?
fucking
I was gonna say.
I was really tired, but
I
the
would rather
entire
sleep on
time-
the fucking floor, dude. I would rather sleep on the floor than those fucking barracks mattresses.
Dude,
Bear.
you know how many swimmers are still swimming?
I contributed to some of them, so yes, I do.
Oh, my.
But that whole time
Dude,
I was
your
cleaning my room.
shit had to
was there.
smell like corn chips and onions, bro.
No. There was a barracks inspection, and I only had like 4 things wrong with the room, just 4. They just happened to be the 4 things. You know, First Sergeant's going to
4
take
walls.
no. First Sergeant's going to take 4 things. They're his pet peeve of the day, and he's probably not going to check a whole bunch of other shit, but he's going to really check those 4 things, 3, 4. Those were the only real things like super wrong with my room. So I got the book thrown at me as far as, well, I guess not. There was not really paperwork, but I got fucked on that one. But the entire time I was cleaning this room, he was there. He stayed on his weekend. His wife brought him dinner in a chair for him to sit on the balcony of the barracks. The team leader, Tesh, came out, sat with him, brought him a beer, and he's like, no. I gave you this punishment. I'm going to be here for all of it. I'm giving you my time so I can make sure you do this right. And it sucked, but I didn't hate him for it. Because for a while there, I had the cleanest room in the entire battalion.
Honestly, though, like, not doing paperwork and just fucking with people's time is the best way to. So, like, I hate doing paperwork.
Yeah,
And I think I counseled.
agree.
I think I counseled maybe 2 Marines my whole fucking career.
Mhm.
But other than that, dude, I would just find a way to fuck with your time, and usually you ended up getting a fucking weekend duty or some shit like that.
I think that goes back to what Jeremy was saying. Like, there's the currency.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
I know, you serve your time. It doesn't have to go higher than that. There's no
Like,
paper trail
I'm-
to fuck you later.
And,
If
and
somebody
for
is-
like for me, I didn't forget. I wait until you thought I forgot. So
I'm
you
still
think-
trying to figure out, like, your barracks room was probably 15 feet by 20 feet, including the bathroom, shower, and closet. What on earth happened in your fucking room in a brick that size that took 19 hours to clean?
And how did you miss 4 spots?
I'm still trying to figure out what kind of crunchy sock situation you had. Like,
The most I got in trouble for was having shit in my trash can, and that's because I
Why'd you shit in your
despised-
trash can?
in the trash.
Wait a goddamn
No,
minute.
I would
had-
be fucking livid, dude.
I had stuff in the trash can, damn it. But I absolutely despise the
let me
fact that
guess.
they're like, oh, you can't have shit in your trash can. Like, you can't have stuff in your trash can at all.
I tell you what, if I was fucking Top or his little Padawan that took with him to take notes of who had a dirty room that day, and we came in and you had fucking Badootie Brown and the goddamn little wastebasket.
No!
I am fucking flipping the fucking building inside out, dude.
That's Raleigh's room. Like, I've been in his bedroom.
my
It had to have
was
been, bro.
trash.
What had?
It's
Did you
trash.
finger paint on the wall?
No.
What
I
took
still remember.
19
I remember what
hours?
Oh man.
he was very meticulous. His standards were actually a lot higher than the first sergeant's. The first sergeant could have walked in there after maybe 3 hours, and
Obviously
he would
not.
have
You
signed
still
off on it.
failed. You still missed 4 spots.
I can tell you what 3 of those spots are off memory.
The
One
vent?
was the vent in the bathroom, the one like
Yeah,
over the
the
sink.
vent. You want to
There's
know
dust
how I
on
know
that.
that? You want
You
to know how I
check
know
it?
that?
Because everybody forgets it.
Because I have my spots. So the vent above doors, not
Yeah.
I got those.
No, not above the door. the door itself, the top of the
Yeah.
door.
I
Nobody
don't
ever
give a
gets
fuck if you
that.
checked it.
I don't think I had anybody check that, and that's
Yeah.
actually a good one because I
The
never
bathroom
thought about
vent.
that.
The actual, not the fan blades, but the little fixture that you screw the fucking lights into, like the little fucking
You
cylinder
didn't
of
clean that
whatever.
while you were cleaning
Yeah.
the blades? Come on, man.
You could actually get
No,
your
I just
pinky-
reached up and just.
Yeah, you could actually get your pinky up in there, and then there's always dirt or dust up
Yeah.
in that part. Even if you just dusted it, there's still dirt because the fan's on, so it's blowing.
And the outer seal of the fridge, like when you open the door, that seal running along there. There
Oh,
was a
come
little
on,
shimmer in
man.
that.
How was that
We-
nasty? What were you
It's
doing to
'cause
the
he
seal?
sits and eats
I
with
did
the
not do
fucking
that.
fridge door open.
What were
He
you
just
doing?
sits there
to
in
the
his
seal?
panties.
The black mold barracks,
And he
man.
pulls his shit out,
Bro.
and he just balances it on top of the door real quick while he's reaching for the mustard, and he's fucking just.
Raleigh, I had to
Right
clean
there.
that once when I first got into the room, and then after that, I didn't have to clean it. So what were you doing, bro?
Not
I was in one of the black mold rooms.
We were in the same barracks, the same
Yeah, I don't
building.
know, man. Knock on wood. I got really lucky, man, because all my guys that I ever had to inspect or partake in inspections for, all my guys were super clean. Like they took care of their shit, and when you walked in, everything you could tell that they may have tidied up a little bit right before we came, but generally speaking, their room was always fucking clean. It always kind of smelled nice. Some variety of Febreze or some cleaning product in there, like
Pledge, lemon pledge on the
Lemon
Oh, yeah,
pledge.
it's-
Hey, that's.
yes.
I think I exclusively got that for the floors.
For one, it makes the fucking floor super slippery, so sometimes they fall and bust their ass. Just a little form of payback.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so I was like 19 and in the barracks at the time. This kind of goes back to Will's story about having liquor in the barracks. Well, in the Marine Corps, you're not allowed to have any liquor. You're allowed to have, if you're E3 and below, you could have a 6-pack of beer and that's it. If you're E4 and up, you could have a 12-pack of beer and that's it. No hard liquor. Well, I think I was like 19 at the time. And I had a handle of Jack Daniels and another
For the
bottle of
weekend?
something else. Yeah, another bottle of something else. Well, we had just finished partying the night before. You know what I'm saying? So this was a health and
Oh, shit.
comfort. This was like when they
Oh,
went through it,
damn.
like 3 in the
Fuck.
morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, health and wellness. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was in my wall locker though, and it was locked up with a lock. A lot of people don't know these, but they actually have to ask permission to like go in there.
Mhm.
But they don't ask it like that. They just say, "Hey, can you open up your wall locker for me?" Which is a trick question into what they're supposed to say is, "Do you consent to me searching through your wall locker?" Because that's your personal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, the way they spun it in the Army was
Open the
these are
shit up now.
commander's barracks. No, well, this is the commander's barracks. You
Yes,
don't actually
but-
own anything.
But anything under lock and key is now your private property, and actually, believe it or not, it needs to have a warrant from PMO to go search through it, and the warrant has to be routed through the company commander.
Yeah, because they used to do that shit. That we would show up like Monday morning for like Motor Pool Monday type of thing, and then as soon as formation kicked off, they would block off the exit entrance to the motor pool, and then all right, everybody go, get with your team lead or your platoon sergeant, and we're searching like everybody's vehicles.
Actually, they
Search
need a
your
warrant.
cars?
Yeah. No, they would try to do it with us too. They need a warrant to do that through PMO, and it has to be routed through your commanding officer. Believe it or not, it's policy. Hence, as you guys can see, why.
But you know good and well if you had told first time like
did tell-
no I will not.
No,
Well, I've heard the
For-
story
for
many
us.
times.
Yeah.
He has actually.
I did tell First Sergeant, actually, I do mind if you look through my stuff. And he was taken aback. He was like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "Said I do mind, and you're not going to go through my stuff." So if you
I
want to
don't
go
mind
through
at
my
all
stuff,
as soon as you present a warrant.
yeah. I said you can go through my stuff after you contact the company commander and get a warrant through PMO. So
Do you think they would get one? Would that get signed up and passed through?
Oh, yeah.
pretty quick.
So yes, it will. Now the issue is it's 3 a.m. Do they really want to call first sergeant, or do they really want to call the commander and wake his ass up and have him come in, write up the cause for the warrant in an official document and send it over to PMO? You see where this gets a little.
Ours is always in it was like after work. So it's like 1630, 1700.
Ours, they would come through and fucking wake you up at 3 a.m. because they would do a run in their health and comforts for like 2 hours. And then guess what? Oh, guess what? Hey, 05, y'all go hurry up and get changed over. It's PT time. Anywho.
Why is
I fucking-
reenlistment so low?
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, I had that bottle, those 2 bottles in my wall locker, and now they thought they were going to be smarter than me and be like, all right, well, you can't be in your room until we get the warrant, and I was like, okay, but they didn't take my key card to my room, so I hit up one of my buddies who was already done after the health and comfort, and I was like, yo, I'm going to come grab my key card. I said, I got a huge favor for you to do, ask. And he's like, what's up? I was like, come grab my key card from me. I said, and here, I'll give you my fucking combo, because it was just like one of those combo locks. I'll give you my combo. I said, I want you to go in there. I said, there's 2 fucking bottles of liquor. They're right there on the right, dude. As soon as you open it, you'd see them. I said, grab them. I said, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you do with them.
You
Throw 'em
keister
away.
those motherfuckers if you want. Yeah.
I was like, I don't care what the fuck you do with them. Just get rid of them. He's like, yeah, I got you. He goes, where's First Star and all them? I said, they're standing right here watching me. And he's like, oh, how am I? He said, how am I going to get your card? I said, meet me out front in 10 minutes. He's like, all right, bet. Sitting there. 5 minutes passed, and I was like, hey, First Sergeant, you mind if I go out front and go smoke real quick? And he's like, yeah, out front only. Don't fucking leave the front patio of the barracks, because that's where you were allowed to smoke was.
Right.
And I was like, sure thing, First Sergeant, you got it. Go out there, hand off my fucking barracks key card to him, kind of slick, because they were standing in the window watching me. So,
Hey, man, can I bum a light real quick?
Yeah, well, no, what I did was I set it behind my pack of smokes and set it on the table. And then my buddy came up and he's like, hey, man, you mind if I grab a smoke? And I was like, not a problem. Slid the whole pack over to him. He picked up the pack with the key card, had the key card, slid it in his pocket. We smoked for a minute, went back inside. He went. He got
There's
rid
an
of that shit.
extra on. Now you see me too.
He threw it in the trunk of my car, but they weren't searching cars because they were already done. You know what I'm saying? So he threw it in the trunk of my car, and then I go back inside. And he texts me. He's like, "Hey, job's done," and I was like, "Bet." Waited about 5-10 minutes, and I was like, "You know what, First Sergeant? I think I've had a change of heart. I think I want to let
After
you get
he's
my
woken
stuff
up the
now."
commander.
So they go through, search my shit. Later that afternoon, I get called in for the CO's office, and I'm sitting there with the CO and the First Sergeant. He's like, "What the fuck? What was the deal?" And I was like, "Principality, sir." I said, "How would you feel if I went to your house at 3 a.m. and woke you up and started ruffling through your fucking shit?" And he was like,
I have a story off of that.
We don't want to.
"Fair point." Yeah, he was like, "That's a fair point, but you realize you live in government property." I said, "Okay." I said, "Nothing was stopping you from getting a warrant and coming back and searching through my stuff." I said, "But if you want to come and make my life difficult at 3 a.m, I'm going to make everybody else's life difficult at 3 a.m."
Right, we're up now. The fire
Yeah.
has started.
We're
I
all
did was
getting up
fan the
now.
flames. Yeah.
So, yeah. But that was that story.
No, we had
I like it.
we had brigade come down at one point, and obviously battalion commander is going to take everyone through. He's like, "Oh, the brigade commander's in. Let me go be tough for this inspection." So you've got the respective first sergeant, company commanders, battalion commander, and brigade commander all sitting there just piling into these folks' rooms, and naturally they're being super super tough on them. And they go into who later became one of my other NCO's room, and they're like, "Hey, why do you have a can in your trash can? Like just soda can."
It's
Just hanging
better
out.
than the shit in old farmer's room.
Right. And this guy kept the tightest fucking room in general. Like, well, you remember Tesh? He kept a neat room.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the most squared away guys I know. And Commander was just being an absolute pecker to him, just like, "Hey, why this? Why that?" Like, "I just got off work. I was just told of this inspection a few minutes ago." And he keeps giving him a hard time. I was like, "Well, I'm sorry for all these deficiencies in my room. When's a good time that I can come over to your on-base housing so you can show me what real cleanliness looks like?" "Sir." Brigade Commander looks at like, "I like this guy. He's got a fucking pair on him. He passes." And he was a specialist. He was a spec P.
But I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a spec P at the time, if I remember right. Man, that was
Jesus.
And then he became, he was under Dodson, the guy who made me clean my room a lot.
Somebody
at the time,
did too, apparently, dude. At the rate, like,
but yeah, those are the two best NCOs I had. The really shitty one was the one who was trying to run all these Intel and cyber weenies. I think maybe like half dozen of us, mostly me and OT, through like Ranger PT, because he was a staff, but he had transferred over from like a line unit. And
Was OT Genesis in your unit?
Who? No.
The dude that sings Coco?
No. Not that I'm tracking. But he was the guy who was like, "Hey, we're gonna wake up, you're gonna do PT with me an hour before unit PT. Then we're gonna go directly from there to unit PT. Also, you're gonna get off work and change very rapidly and then come meet me at the gym after work." And this was shortly after battalion commander puts out like, "Hey, 183 is what I expect from you guys right now. I want you to, that way you're exceeding the standard, but then you can put the rest of your efforts towards being technically proficient. Be better at your fucking jobs. Because 0% of this battalion is physically oriented for their job. We're a whole battalion of brainiacs." Yeah, PT score.
61.
Yeah, 61, 61, 61. Like, if you hit that, then basically saying you're just above the standard, and that's all he expected. And that pissed off a lot of the people that were from like line units or some of the old heads that Rodney was talking about earlier. But basically, when everyone else was doing 3 to 5 hours of PT a week, me and these handful of other guys were doing 15 plus, and it was at least the before unit and the after work PT that this guy was running were a lot more difficult. None of us were conditioned for it, to the point where a fair few of us actually got busted up and broken from it.
Did you go to sick call, dumbass? Get that shit documented?
Not everyone did, but I did.
Good.
Yeah.
As soon as you get seen 3 times for any issue, even if it's a fucking long toenails, it's considered a chronic issue. Go to
Seems
sick
like
call.
Boots
All
was
of
chronically in the Fat Man platoon.
Yeah, it seems like
I never busted weight. I was close until I got to that second age class. I was like within 5 pounds of it, but I never busted it.
I always busted weight.
You were under.
Dude, that's because you're built like a fucking worm from Men in Black. You have no. No, it's okay. I'm not high and mighty. I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I was that fat bastard that everyone was like, "How the fuck is that guy in the army?" And it's because I got a 20-inch neck. I can outwork most of the guys. I'm not gonna go for a run, but you know, when they're moving 400-pound tents around and there's only
who are they calling? Yeah,
they call him T. When they're doing fucking full Connex layouts and they're moving shit around, who are they calling? Well, they're fucking calling T to come drag shit out and get shit moved and get shit done and fucking, and get it done. So it's okay. I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm a
Bro,
fat
it
guy who only got
sucked,
by
man.
because I had a big fucking neck.
Every
You've been
fucking
on
time
my whole
they
career.
every time they said height and weight, I was like, fuck. That means so many appointments.
And you know what
It-
sucks, man, is that I was like, yeah, I'm a big guy, period. But most of my Army career, I hung out around 240, 250. And frankly, at 6'4", with some meat on you, 240, 250 is like a really... I would fucking kill a puppy to be 240, 250 right now. Now I'm fat. If I was in the Army now, I'd be like, hey, hey, me, it's me again. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But at
Yeah.
240, 250, man, I was at a happy weight. I didn't.
Oh, I'd
know it
absolutely
then.
bust now.
Settle down.
Good heavens, bro. We're just podcasting.
Right?
I know you're thinking about me at 240, 250. You're like, I'm gonna bust now. Calm the
No,
fuck
man.
down. I kind of blushed a little bit, but I still.
I always had to go to like I'd always have to go to the health and wellness center. I'd have to go see a nutritionist, like all this stuff, just for them to be like, "Yep, you're healthy." I'm like, I could have told you that.
And when you were on
Yeah.
meal card, they would have given you double rats. But when
Oh,
you
no,
got put
all-
on
all-
BAS, they said get
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Like through our basic, man, I ate so much because I was
Yeah,
the first
but
name they would call.
When you went to the nutritionist, were you honest with them?
Yeah, I'd be like,
Did
"Hey,
you
I
tell
don't really
them-
eat all of them." I was like,
Did
I
you
started
tell them
to
that
eat,
you only
so-
ate
I would
once every
tell
2
them-
days?
No, I actually ate a lot more while I was in, surprisingly, because like I would take my lunch and I'd actually go eat during my lunch. But
Half of your chicken
I-
nuggets instead of a fourth of them?
When Massa Mission Commander lets you off.
I told this lady at the time, I was like, hey, like my struggle is just like I don't snack throughout the day. She's like, you just gotta snack on nuts and snack on like
These
M&Ms and all
nuts.
that kind of-
Boots got a
nuts.
recipe. Boots got a recipe for you, bud. You gonna like it. More
I was-
milkshake.
But yeah, I was just like, man, I can't do that. Like, I'm just
Extra
not,
protein.
no. Bro.
So
You're the
what's,
one
your
that's-
beef,
Poor thing.
what's your beef with food, Will?
I don't have a beef with food.
No
Like,
pun
I
intended.
Because, bro, I have
I
a
wish I
violent
had
love
your
affair with
problem.
food. I have a violent love affair with food.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, like speaking 100% completely honest, I think my problem is I don't get on a schedule with it. And that's large in part like why I don't eat as much. If I got on a schedule and I stuck to it, it's kind of like going to the gym. If you don't fucking stick to it, you're just going to fall off the wagon real quick.
Getting a schedule is the only way I can keep myself from eating like.
Right.
Oh, I'm saying that. Hey, I'm bored. I'm gonna go get me something.
It's the opposite too, man. Like I just
Just,
I don't know.
just be eating, bro. I'll sit there with a bag of chips and eat the whole fucking bag of chips
Oh,
just because I'm.
you already know
just 'cause
I'll
I'm
tear up a
watching-
fucking, y'all
I'm
know
watching
I will
TV.
tear up a bag of chips so
Especially
fucking
if they're
fast.
fucking, bro, the Cheeto
Pringles
Puffs, bro,
can?
I'll be- the Cheeto Puffs, bro. The family size bag of Cheeto Puffs, dude.
How'd that go again?
Watching TV, and the next thing you know, I'm reaching around the bottom of the bag going, what the fuck?
Where'd my chips go?
Yeah,
Who
you-
took my chips?
Yeah, when you gotta pop the crease so that you can. You're like, oh fuck,
Every
we've
time.
reached a new low.
You guys
And then
already
you start
know
going.
I'll eat the fuck out of some chips, bro.
And then the wife comes in and she goes, hey, have you seen the,
No,
You see-
no.
Ball it up real quick.
some asshole ate them all.
Yeah, it's me.
Or you gotta hit him with it. You're like, hey, I just polished them off. They were like, there's like this much of the bag left in there. Like,
Oh, you
Those crumbs.
polished it off all right.
yeah, I did. Got you, bro.
Have you ever lived with a woman?
now? No,
Have
Time
you ever
or
lived
two.
with a woman?
That's
Because
making
they
the
know-
highlight reel for season 2. I'm gonna bust now. Jesus Christ.
Oh
Well,
god.
Jeremy, what's your key takeaways on what makes a great leader? We'll just do a quick roundup here.
It is not something that can be taught. Unfortunately, I think being a good leader is it's in you already. You know, you're that
You can't
that
teach
healthy
empathy.
that yeah, you can't, and having that healthy balance of respect, having a healthy balance on, you know, self-control, self-awareness, is the big stuff. That's just, it's just shit you can't teach. You have it or you don't.
Yep.
And it just is what it is. That's why they're so few and far between. You can try to teach them as much as you can, but at the end of the day, you either got the grains or you don't. I know y'all kind of shout out real quick. None of these guys watch my podcast, but shout out Sergeant Hopper, who's now Josh Hopper. He just got out this week. Actually, he just got his DD 214. Sergeant Weston and Sergeant Cone.
You'll have to
But-
send him the link to this one.
I will. Those three guys are like men that I have respect for, regardless of what they do when they get up every morning for work. You know what I'm saying? Those are the types of guys that they're gonna fucking slay at whatever they do. Period. So it isn't really unique to the military. It isn't unique to. Well, I was taught in, you know, this NCO that. Nah, man,
Not at all.
you had
'Cause,
that.
I've had, shit leadership and good leadership at Walmart and the VA. You know what I'm saying? And those are places I've worked
Yeah.
since being in the military. And I've had both shitty leadership there and I've had great leadership at each of those places. So, what about you, Will? What's your key takeaways to what makes a good leader?
It's a lot of based on what Jeremy was saying, like adaptability, understanding when to pull what card, being humble, getting your pride out of the way, and understanding that you don't know it all just because you're a leader. Like play
That's
to your
huge.
people's strength. Yeah. Oh yeah. Play to your people's strengths. You might not know it,
And
but they
that's-
do.
That's something
Humility
that,
is just
that's something that takes a lot of pride and humility, from someone.
Yeah.
To be able to say, I don't know something, even as a leader or as someone who's even as someone who's looked upon as a leader, to sit there and say, I don't know something
Yeah.
that takes a lot as an individual to say that. I probably say that shit on a fucking daily basis. I've heard Will say it. I've heard Boot say it. I've heard Jeremy say it. On numerous occasions of, I know nothing about this topic, so I'm not going to speak on it.
Yeah. And then a lot of times it turns into like, hey, I've heard this. What about this is right?
Right.
What about it's wrong? Not a
and that speaks more
yeah.
to say,
Oh,
got nothing on this one. I honestly
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
Yeah. Or even, if you're in a situation, you're like, look, man, I'm not 100% sure. I think this might work. Who's got a better idea?
Yeah.
Who knows more on
You
the
know-
topic?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who's got a better idea? You know what I'm saying? Because there's people, everyone has different life experiences, and it might be something that you've never experienced, but someone else has experienced it and they know how to navigate through that situation. So,
Yeah.
anything else?
Nah, that's good. What about you, Ronnie?
For me, it all comes down to empathy, and then just knowing your Marines or your Joes or your subordinates, for that matter. And like I talked about, you can't really teach empathy, man. It's you either have it or you don't. But as far as being a good leader, empathy, caring, and understanding their situation and understanding how to navigate the problem with their situation, like I talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm dealing with someone and I just found out that their mother died or something like that, I'm not going to chew into them as hard as I would any other time. You're going to have a little bit more leniency with me because I know you're going through a hard time and you're probably just acting out, or you're not really in the right mindset to make the correct decisions that you need to be making. So you're going to have a little bit more leniency. A lot of leaders don't take that into account. You know what I'm saying? Oh, your home life needs to stay apart from your personal life or from your work life, and that's never a real thing. No matter how much you try to, your home life will always bleed into your work life because it's who you are.
And especially in the military, because
Yeah.
they pride themselves on being this all-encompassing, like, your whole life is the army. Your whole life
Right.
is the military. Your whole life is the mission. Every aspect of your life is micromanaged and controlled by the military until something happens, and then they want you out as soon as possible. Like, I got a buddy, I don't want to put too much of his business out there right now, but he's a real young Joe. He's had a shit childhood. I mean, a shit upbringing. And he went into the military for that security, that stability, that structure, just feeling of some kind of normality and community that he never got from his family. Anyway, a real young guy, and his wife passed away. He's 22 years old. His wife just died. And so obviously he's having some ideations.
Problems dealing with it.
Are you kidding me? I don't even want to imagine what this
couldn't.
guy's going through. And
couldn't.
they're trying to they're trying to stack a folder on him and get him out of here. Like,
Oh, hell no.
They are.
Yeah.
They swear to God they are. And I'm just sitting here thinking the whole time, this guy needs you guys who stuck your hand up his ass and puppeteered this motherfucker's whole life for the last couple of years. And now when he needs you more than ever, you're ripping that motherfucker out at lightning speed.
Nah, keep that hand up there. Keep him upright.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's
right.
I have found that to be the case a lot of the times. Like a lot of times when people have drinking problems and stuff like that, dude, it's usually something going on at home.
Yeah.
Substance abuse, it's usually something going on at home, and they just use that to escape. But they never want to take that into account or see how they can help them. And what's sad too is, we had talked about it before in our mental health episode, is it's frowned upon to go see mental health and go see counseling. If you go to counseling once a week, it's like fucking asking them for their fucking firstborn child to have the time off to go an hour a day to go see a fucking counselor.
Y'all act like I was going to do shit in this hour anyway.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, fucking Tion, he's got to go. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
He's a
And
fucking problem child.
They
man.
make you feel
we
even
can't
worse.
depend on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas, that's probably what this guy needs right now is some counseling. Some kind of
Well, that's the
counseling
thing. What he's missing is sincerity. And unfortunately, you're just not going to get it. And I feel like I've kind of done my buddy a disservice because I haven't really talked to him too much. But for somebody who is already feeling alone, who's already feeling isolated, he doesn't need your disingenuous comments. Or, and it's coming from a good place. When people talk to you and they try to go, yeah, I lost my grandma a couple of years ago, and it doesn't matter. What you're saying doesn't compare to what he's going through, and I understand you're just trying to be relatable and be empathetic, but
he doesn't give a fuck what you went through.
Yeah, no, he doesn't, and you're basically the way that's viewed is you're belittling how he feels by trying to compare it to how you used to feel. And that is literally pushing him away and feeling like literally nobody understands what I'm going through.
I always feel like when
people
do shit like that, it's always like, oh, well, sorry about your situation, but look at the situation I had to go through.
Yeah, it's like a one-up almost.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. And for somebody who already feels isolated, somebody who already feels alone, and already has attempted ideations, bro, that's not the answer. I don't know the answer. I'm not going to try to act like I do. I sent him one text message like a week ago, and I literally just said, hey, look, man, I don't even want to even remotely close to act like I know what you're going through. But
I'm here.
you know, but yeah, I'm here. I don't know what that means. If you just want to kick it and eat some ribs, we don't even got to talk, dog. Just bang on the door. You
And
know
that's what I was gonna say. Is like most of the time, that's all. Like that speaks.
we don't have
volumes.
to talk
like,
about
just,
it. We don't have
yeah,
to say
you just
shit.
fucking sit there, and we'll just sit and not do a damn thing, and that will
Right.
mean a lot more than trying to.
When I lost
Cook
Granddad,
ribs, drink a beer, and that's it.
Yeah.
when I lost Granddad, I was at work that morning. It was Black Friday 2020, and
That's
I come out on my smoke break and everything, check my phone because I'm secure building, no phone, yada yada, and I get the news. I'm just sitting there. I drag my feet, go back inside the fucking whole Trail of Tears 80-mile walk back into the building. Look at my coworker who was acting boss at the time because our boss was out. I was like, Granddad just died and I don't really know what to do. He said, easy answer. Go the fuck home. I'll handle paperwork. So I just kind of walked back out, got in my car, sent a message in the chat. I don't remember doing that part, but apparently I did. And I said 2 words. Both these motherfuckers were at my house before I was.
I left work.
Yeah.
I left
And
work.
they fucking sat there on the couch with me.
told my boss, I was like, I gotta go. He's like, what? And I was like, later. Yeah, I left work. I don't care.
They didn't say a whole lot of shit. We just kind of sat on the couch. I think Will picked up beer on the way, which props for his speediness.
I mean, I lived like 5 minutes down the road, so it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I was going to be
Talk if you want, but really it's
Yeah.
just going to be you. You can vent, say whatever it is you got to
Yeah.
say. Hey, brother, cheers to that.
If
Yeah.
not, we could all sit there on our fucking phones and drink a beer. Like, you
Yeah,
know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's silence. You can clean your
Yeah.
shit up and get yourself fucking whatever. And cool, man. Hey, man, I'm going to take off, man. Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Right on, brother. That's it. That's what most of us need.
Yeah.
And the big thing too is just being there for them and to make sure that they don't carry out those, ideations that you talked about.
Sure.
And that was the big thing of why I left work is because I didn't want him because I knew at the time he was living by himself. So I didn't want him just going home to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And Raleigh did
Like-
the same thing for me when I hit that armadillo, and it totally destroyed the front end of the BMW. Like,
Talk about downplaying someone's fucking
no. I mean, it doesn't equate,
damn.
but like that's all I had. Like I think I had just already gone through the divorce. Like I had nothing else other than that car. It was the car. That was it. And when I hit that thing, and I had nowhere to go. I couldn't make it back to the barracks. I drove to his house, and that's all he did was like
My little 1-bedroom apartment.
yeah, he went to bed, and that was it. It was just having somebody there. Like it doesn't equate to losing somebody because
We cuddled.
Like I've lost. Like I lost
You're
my grandfather
us
figure.
earlier.
I lost my grandfather figure before I joined. It was like right before I joined, but
Sure.
it doesn't equate. But I'm saying that
No,
he's just
I
as
get that.
dependable. So the least I could do for him was to do the same thing,
Will was
especially
there
when
for-
he needed it more.
Will was there for me when I got rear-ended. Actually, Will was
Oh, man,
the
I
first
dropped-
person there.
I dropped everything.
Literally.
I told
this
so
time.
many motherfuckers to move their car. I had to go.
And then we went back to Will's house and fucking drank some beers. And then I was like,
Uh,
well, I think I'm just going to start walking home. And he's like, dude, you want to borrow my Explorer? And I was like, I mean, I guess. Well, I lived right down the street. So he lived
Yeah.
he lived in Grove Landing, Jeremy. That's where he used to live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I lived,
The
a
next
mile up
neighborhood.
the road. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
a mile walk. So I was like, I think I'm just going to start walking. Didn't have a fucking car. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It took longer to get
Right.
out of his neighborhood than to get.
Yeah.
From,
Wait.
right, to get
What
in
got
his
rear-
neighborhood into his house.
The Atlas got rear-ended.
no, that
No,
was the Fahrenheit.
the Fahrenheit.
That was when they totaled out the Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Bro,
remember
I was
that.
there with the fucking quickness.
Okay.
I brought
He's like-
the S10 over too.
He's like, got in a car accident. I was like, where?
Well, because I was heading to his house afterwards. We were gonna work on your car, do something. Or
Which
we
didn't
might have
happen.
been. No, because as soon as we got back, we just sat in the garage and just drank beers,
Yeah.
laughed about stupid shit. I don't know, made fun of life, made fun of my car. That's what I
Yeah.
do. I'm a very dark humor, and will make fun
Yeah.
of myself and my situation in that dark situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of toxic leadership, they wouldn't. My grandma died last June, and June of 21, and they wouldn't. They denied all my leave to go to the funeral.
So that happened with one of my Marines, and I sent his ass home on leave anyways. They
Well,
denied it. They denied
the
it, and I
issue
was
was
like,
they wouldn't give me those 3 or 4 days because I was on extra duty.
see, that's a little more difficult. But for him, I was like, look, man, you already bought your plane ticket, blah blah blah. Go home, go to your grandma's fucking funeral, take care of your family affairs. I said, don't be gone for 3 weeks or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm covering for your ass. I said, but get the fuck out of here, dude. Go and take care of your family affairs. Do what you got to do, and come back, and I'll cover.
Yeah, I
for
could
you.
buy you 3 days on top of a weekend type of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can cover for you for a few days and just be like, oh yeah, he's got this appointment. He told me about it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's taking care of this for me. You know, he's accounted for, type of shit.
Sure.
But after
If
3-4
anybody even
days-
asks.
yeah. After a few days, they usually start. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's, hey, where's so and so?
Mhm.
Remember the time I didn't even show up for PT? It was one of the 3 times I ever slept through an alarm when I was in the Army. And apparently, no one from my squad showed up to even take accountability. Like, one was on an op, one was on leave, one had an appointment, yada, yada, yada. I woke up, looked at my phone, saw the time, and I was like, fuck! I had this irrational fear of being late to anything. And then I saw there was no
That's
missing
not
calls.
irrational.
No missed calls, no missed texts, and I'm waking up 2.5 hours after I was supposed to, and I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah,
I
had to
got
go
me a
see
little
my-
breakfast.
I had to
Yeah,
go
I've
see
done
my
that
company
before,
commander
too.
after. I had to go see my company commander after I did that. But me and my dad, bro, we got trashed the night before. And then fucking slept right through that alarm, bro. And I showed up to work at like 11 o'clock. It was like right before lunch. Because I woke up and I was like, fuck. And then just obviously showered and took my time getting ready because I'm already fucking late.
Stop, get some Dunkin' Donuts on the way. Like,
Right.
If you're late, bring donuts.
Doesn't matter if you're late 30
You know what
minutes or
that's-
30 minutes.
Once you're awake and you kind of like see like how much light is in the room, and you're thinking it's way too bright in here.
Oh, bro, I
Fuck!
woke
And
up.
you just go straight onto your feet. Like,
Well, I did that and like started rushing, and then I was like, bro, I'm
I'm already
already
late.
like, and it's not like I was just like late. I was like late. I think I woke up as like 10. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm 5 hours late already.
Did you already have like that 3.5 seconds where you're like trying to rapidly brainstorm like some kind of a reason to give, some kind of excuse where you're not going to get completely fucked?
No, I
Yeah,
already
you
had it in
do.
my head. I already had it in
And
my
you're-
head. And that was the excuse that I gave to him was when I got there, and I was like, look, sir, my bad. We had just got back from deployment, and we had just came off leave like a week before. And I was like, look, sir, I just got prescribed these new sleeping meds.
I tried that one. Yep, that worked.
That actually happened to me. That lost me a job one
Yeah.
time.
And I was like, and they fucking pit me out. And he's like, all right, I want to see them. And I was like, okay. I said, I could bring him in tomorrow. He goes, no, go get him right now. He's like, your day's already done for. It's lunchtime. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to get anything.
right.
And I was like, I mean, okay. So I went back home and grabbed him and brought him back, and he looks at him and he's like, okay. He goes, I'll tell you what. You got a free pass this time. He goes, next time you start a new medication, maybe try it on a weekend.
That's fair.
And I was like,
That's a good answer.
That's fair.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Answer. Yeah.
and I was like, he was actually a really good lieutenant, bro. Like, I have a history, and you guys know this, of beefs with lieutenants.
Yeah, I think everybody should. It's a good, healthy balance.
Yeah.
Because you're just a private with an accounting degree, so don't.
A lot of them come in. A lot of them come in fucking beating their chests.
Yeah, like
Okay.
stay humble, sit down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in a place of you're.
I've been
you're a
doing this
student.
shit.
Yeah.
I think the thing that helped him is he was a Mustang, so he made it all the way to E6, and then
Right.
transferred over and became an officer. So he kind of understands the enlisted side. So I think that's kind of what helped him not be a fucking pecker.
Always. I wanted to do that so bad.
Yeah. And so he was pretty cool about it. Like I said, his response was, how about the next time you try out a new medication, try it on a weekend for the first time? And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Sorry. I was just really tired of not sleeping. So even though that is not the situation.
Yeah, if you're listening, sir, if you're still in the Corps, this one's for you, bud. Appreciate you.
So, and honestly, he might have smelt the fucking whiskey on me. So,
chances are it was still oozing out of your pores to some degree.
like we drank, like we were just passing the bottle back and forth, me and my dad. Like that's how we drank. So I'm sure he smelt that shit the next. You know what I'm saying? Whiskey doesn't just
Go
like,
away.
you know, PT Monday morning is kind of a
yeah, that shit just fucking oozes out of your fucking pores.
rancid motherfuckers. Well, every last one of y'all. That smell like Axe body spray and butthole in here.
Same thing.
I'll be the first one to like admit that. Like I'd be lying if I said I didn't fucking go straight from a fucking club, go to Denny's, eat me a little fucking Grand Slam, and then take my ass straight to fucking PT. And fucking
go
PT.
home and take a little horse bath in the sink real quick and
not even, dude.
brush your teeth and throw PTs on.
Not even, dude. Just fucking straight from the fucking club, Denny's till about 4 a.m. Head home or head to the fucking barracks from Denny's real quick. Use your homie's room to change in real quick, and then fucking head up PT, bro. Still smelling like straight liquor.
Although the AIT, we had those guys because we were in San Antonio for the first half of our AIT, and we had to do like door checks, like bed checks, at like I think it was like 9 or 10 o'clock. I think it was 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock on the weekends. I don't. It doesn't fucking matter. So it never failed that these guys from the 3rd floor were always out partying. So. Sure enough, they would come in like fucking Ferris Bueller's Day Off and fucking Macy's button downs and fucking, you know what I mean? Just through the fucking hallways trying to get up to their room to get into PTs and in front of their door before the NCO went by. Because sure enough, we'd all be standing out there. He hasn't been through yet. It's okay. You got time. Go. Or he's already hit our floor. He's in that wing of the 2nd floor. And so they could go up this well and make it to the 3rd and over and get changed and shit. Like, that was a good time, man.
We had formation when I was in MOS school, which is like your guys' AIT.
Yeah.
When I was in MOS school, we had formation on the weekends every day at midnight, or every weekend on midnights.
Ew.
And yeah, it was kind of shitty, especially for those people who didn't really go out. But
yeah, because you had to wake up to go to that.
Yeah, I was out at a club one time drinking. Bro, I got fucking slaughtered, dude. I couldn't even hold myself up, bro. We were in formation, and I had fucking one Marine on each side fucking holding my arms. And you know, they're sitting there calling roll, and fucking he calls my name, and fucking Marine next to me grabs my arm and just throws that bitch in the air, and he's just like...
That's good shit, dude.
Yeah, bro, those were good times, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, been a good episode. We could sit here and talk about military stories, and actually, that might be another good episode is military stories.
Just random military stories.
Yeah, good times that we had while we were in.
We'll have to rewatch this one before we do that one, so we don't retell the story.
I got plenty. I can tell some of
Yeah.
my dad's stories, some of my uncle's
Yeah.
stories, just
And
for
then,
Air
we could sit
Force
here
and
and
Navy, and
talk
yeah.
about toxic leadership all night and what makes a good leader. Because there's a lot
As a
more
matter
than
of
what
fact, maybe I'll ask my dad if he wants to special guest on an episode while we
Yeah.
bullshit about old military stories, because he's got. Dude, you think I talk too much? He's got stories, boy. He got stories on stories on stories. So
I'm sure if my
Yeah.
dad could actually remember some of them, might be able to get him on here too.
So
but he's Air Force though, so you can't. We got to be. There's going to be a lot of Hampton Inns in the middle of these stories.
I'd call my old man, but he's out of commission, so
I believe I want to say my dad did some time in South Korea, so he might have some fun ones.
Right.
ladyboy
Right.
stories.
Ooh.
Anyways, like I said, we could talk about toxic leadership and what makes a good leader. All there's a lot more that goes into it than what we just discussed. We kind of just
he who
Just
can
the tip.
motivate you to do something you don't want to do without you hating him or fearing him.
Also, clean your fucking room, Boots.
And your
Clean your
desk.
fucking room. Yeah. So to those listeners out there, if you are a real person and you do listen to us and you've made it this far into an hour and 45-minute podcast,
Jesus Christ.
thank you. God, we appreciate you guys. We try to
yeah.
we do this for fun. This is obviously just us bullshitting around, but we appreciate you guys, those followers that we do have. Shouts out to India and where else? Wherever else are.
Europe. Europe.
Shout out
Yeah,
to my boy Frank, who listens to every one of our podcasts while he's driving.
Hell yeah. We appreciate you guys. Throw us a like
been-
and a follow if you haven't.
it's
But
Been a fucking fun ass season, man. This season
Oh,
was
yeah.
really great.
Yeah,
We're
so
looking
we
forward to
got some-
season 2. We got some stuff in
Yeah.
the works. My boy Jeremy over here is hyping up some dope ass new artwork for season 2. So
Hopefully, we'll have merch in by then.
some of my own, I got some holes here I got to fill into my own artwork. So
Oh, do you?
filled in.
Hey,
Yeah,
I saw
Friday.
a perfect spot for prick.
dude, I forgot about it. So this is I'm actually going down on Friday. I'm gonna get all of this filled in right here and then get it all tatted up. That's gonna hurt like hell back there, but it won't hurt
With that-
more than that one or my back. So
With that being said, it'll probably be after this episode. It'll probably be 2 or 3 episodes or 2 or 3 weeks before you see us again.
so follow. So you'll see us when we come back because we're gonna
Yep.
fall off of your stream here.
Hit the bell, baby.
That being said, see y'all later.
Later.